Hi, welcome to the Office 365 Pulse, or them 365 Pulse, or whatever Pulse we want to call it. Adam is not able to join us. He has no internet, but I'm glad to be back. I had to miss a couple of weeks because, well, life. But I am back. And Tamara, why don't you kick us off with what is in development? We only have 55 updates today, so
yes,
I do not think we'll be long.
Fabulous. Well, let's talk about Microsoft Teams call control with Bluetooth headsets and speakerphones. So I went out and bought a really expensive, supposed to work with Teams Bluetooth headset, and it works intermittently. So which is the device, not the Teams issue. So use device buttons to control call, answer, and hold from Bluetooth audio devices without needing a USB dongle when connected to a Windows PC running Teams desktop client. For many headsets and speakerphones, this will work without requiring any user action to enable other than pairing the headset or speakerphone with the PC. So watch the Microsoft certification page for additional information coming soon about devices tested to meet all certification criteria with native Bluetooth connections without a USB dongle. So this is in development, and it's supposed to be coming out in March of this year.
I have a certified headset.
Yeah.
And it says it meets all certification requirements. I think we just need to start over with what are the certification requirements. That may be where we need to start, because my certified headset, bless its heart.
Bless its heart. Oh, I know what that means.
Bless its heart.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about from the development side was the Office apps, Microsoft Office default change. It's going to be blocking VBA macros and files from the internet. So to help improve security, Microsoft is changing the behavior of the Office applications to block macros in files from the internet. So it'll be harder to get like a Trojan horse or something of that nature. And that's rolling out in April. I think that's going to be frustrating for some people and a godsend for others.
It was interesting. That came up when we were doing some presentations internally last week. We're like, well, what about this? And what if they're on, SharePoint, and is SharePoint a trusted site and the whole bit? And I'm like, I haven't looked into this yet. Give me a break. It's brand new. But what I did find was something that basically said, if it's coming from a trusted site, then it will run fine. Mm-hmm. And by default, SharePoint and OneDrive are considered trusted sites in your environment unless you've done some bizarre security setting. So it may be that it's fine. It's just going to block it if you go out to, Bob's Bicycle Shop and download some spreadsheet from there. It may not work under those circumstances. So it may not be quite as bad as I'm expecting, but I still need to do a little bit more research on that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have one, Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So this is tenant level analytics for Power Automate.
That is cool. That is really cool. We saw it in our tenant today. It's really cool.
I'm sorry I stole yours.
No, I wasn't going to mention it, but that one was awesome.
This is going to let admins use out-of-the-box reports to monitor usage and track inventory of cloud flows for automation procedures across the organization at the tenant and enterprise level, or the environment level. So that's just a good one, a good way for them to look at and see, hey, what are you doing to my cloud? What are you automating? What is going on? It's good for admins to kind of have an idea of what Betty in accounting can do with just a click of a button. So it's good. It's good for them to be able to do that. So it's in development. Tom's already seeing it, so it must be starting to hit some of the slow roll.
Yeah, we were already able to go out there and look today, and this is only with like maybe 3 or 4 days worth of content in it. But we saw that there's this one flow that's got test, policy, and procedures on it, and it runs a lot. And what's nice is it can, normally we wouldn't be able to see that under the account that we do our flows under because it's not shared with us. Well, this allows us to go out and see all the ones that are running and it's got the GUID of the person who is the owner of it. So we can basically take that GUID, go into the admin center, pop that in there and find out, oh, this belongs to Bob, and actually narrow it down there. So this is going to give us a lot more capabilities. There's still some things that are a little funky in it that we wished were a little different, but it's far more than we've had in the past. It's a really cool change. I like it a lot.
I think it's going to become part of the offboarding process to check this and see who's leaving.
Yeah.
And if they have flows running, because they can become so business critical and people forget about them once they're built. Oh yeah, Bob built that like 3 years ago. Now Bob's on to greener pastures, and all of a sudden it stops running because you've disabled the account.
Yeah, the only thing that I've seen that's may not fully address that is it looked like the inventory was based on flows that have run. So you may see the flow listed out there 15 times because it ran 15 times, but if it hasn't run at all, it's not going to show up based on our initial reviews. So you may still be stuck of, hey, you know, it's a year down the road and Bob built this thing, but it's never run yet. Now it runs, it cancels. Who's Bob? So we'll have to see how that goes. But again, far more than we've had in the past. Awesome stuff.
Cool.
Couple things that I have that I will mention. For Excel, run your Office scripts. I'm on a struggle bus for speaking today. From a workbook button now on Windows. So when you use Office scripts, which are like macros that have a nice new name on them, you could run them from the browser-based versions of Excel and things like that, but you couldn't run them in the Windows client versions of these things. Well, now you're going to be able to click that same button on your Windows client. So you're going to be able to go with either client version, browser or the desktop client, and be able to run these scripts, which I think is pretty awesome that you get that same level of compatibility between the two. One more, Office Stream. They are putting something in your videos now that will allow you to report a playback issue to Microsoft. They can get it and then kind of see, hey, what might be the problem here, and be able to do some diagnostics. Now, whether or not they're going to reach out to you and tell you, hey, I see that this is broken, here's how you fix it. But I think they'll be able to start giving you more, hey, go check this particular report or this particular article. It'll tell you what's going on there. So I think that's good that they'll be able to get some of these things and make it easier for people to submit those.
Okay, it says you can submit them. It doesn't say they're going to respond to it.
Okay, there is that.
I'm just saying, with all these people putting in, boop, this isn't working right. Boop, this isn't working right. They may not have the capacity to respond to every boop.
Well, hopefully if the boop count gets high enough, they'll address it with documents and articles that we can work with.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And Jennifer's like, why do I let these two on this call with me?
Oh, that's great. I love it. All right, well, I'll channel my inner Adam. So the Compliance Center has got everything in development, it seems. So I'll kind of try to do the summary. Detection, they're working on getting investigation time from 24 hours down to 1 hour. Empower users to report inappropriate message in Teams. We've got prioritize policy matching using Azure Cognitive Services. So that's going to be going in and flagging things as positive, neutral, negative, using Azure Cognitive Services. So accelerate onboarding with step-by-step guidance, so to help you get Compliance Center up and going even faster. And then expanded optical character recognition to support handwritten and printed text. So if you're putting any of that in, they can also make sure that is compliant. So don't handwrite anything that shouldn't be in the system. Advanced e-discovery for the government cloud. So that's in development as well. Let's see what else we have there. Advanced keyword query for the government cloud. And I think that might be the end of the things in development. A lot of these, let's see, everywhere from March all the way out to September. So that's a lot. Also some logs and encryption and stuff like that. So basically, I think the Compliance Center sat down and did their planning for the rest of the year, and then loaded it up in the roadmap for development. So Compliance Center is going to have a lot of stuff going on for the rest of the year. So if you thought their year was done, you were wrong. More is coming. Anything else in development, guys?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well, then, oh, there's one more that is coming that if you use this, you're going to be happy. If you don't use it, you won't even notice. But if you use it and you need it, you're going to like it. Office app. So in the mobile app, being able to switch your account. So
yes.
Account and profile switching, that is a big one that's in development. That's a good one. And then even some more compliance stuff down in here. But that's, we'll just say Compliance Center. But it's a big winner today. Big winner. All right. Well, into rolling out. Tamara, you want to take us to the rollout?
Nothing really big going on in the rollout. One thing is Office apps create videos on the mobile app. I think that's going to be helpful because it's hard to walk around with your laptop trying to film things. Where with the mobile app on your phone, it's going to be easier to do that. So you'll be able to incorporate that video. So with the latest update, you can create short videos, clips, edit, and share with people in your network. Now that's supposed to be rolling out in January, so that should have already hit. Let's see where that is rolling out to.
Everything.
That's rolling out worldwide.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Like when you were working in the environmental company, somebody could be out on a site, take a short video of something, pop it back into Teams, and everybody can look at it and say, oh, here's what that means.
That's bad. Yeah.
So cool stuff.
Oops, I got one.
Go for it, because I don't have anything. She took the one thing I had highlighted there.
Well, if you've got, let's see, if you're using Citrix for VDI and you've got that going on, so virtual desktop, you probably, want to use Teams and share your desktop. You don't want to share your whole desktop, but you want to share an application. So that is available now. So that is rolling out. So I could see if you've been waiting for that. There's a lot of people that have a policy where you're supposed to share just an application and you're not supposed to share your entire desktop. So that is working on rolling out as well in the Citrix VDI environment. So I know some people have been looking for that one. And then we do have some more Compliance Center stuff, disabling of unlocking of records for records management, and then configuration option to block the ability to edit metadata for records. So those are two things that pop there for the Compliance Center. So Tom, you don't have anything for us for rolling out?
Not really. I mean, if I wanted to pick something just to be able to say something in this area, in Microsoft Viva, enable search to add files or pages and topic pages. So now if you're an editor in that area, you can pin file or pages to a topic page by searching for it in the resource picker. So if you're into Viva, you're doing those kind of topic pages and stuff like that, you have a little bit more information you can put out there to add additional content to what's going on.
Cool. Well, Tom, why don't you take us into launch then, so you can be sure to get one.
Okay, so I have to scroll through real quick. What did I highlight? So these are things that we've probably all talked about numerous times over the last few months because it's had to go through the prior two settings. But a couple of them out here, Microsoft Lists improve lookup fields. So if you're creating lists and you're trying to use lookup fields, not my most favorite thing. It's a little bit more straightforward now. It's like you can program a list item column to look up another set of data pre-populated managed choices. So it's supposed to be a better UI with no setting pages required. I don't know what that quite looks like. I'd have to go out and take a look at it. The other thing is, and we've talked about this before, and we kind of raked it over the coals and laughed hysterically over the write-up, but that was in Word. Use the redesigned modern font picker in Office.
This type of graphical experience that I've been waiting for, Tom.
Picking your fonts just got easier. Microsoft Office Modern Fonts Picker is a completely reimagined experience for Office. Pin your favorite fonts so you can quickly access them on any device or platform, easily view all the fonts used in document, including notifications for missing and embedded fonts. Choose from all the available styles for a font family, whether simply bold or italic, or more exotic variants such as condensed semi-bold italic. In the Office Fonts section, see what fonts are available on all platforms and don't need to be embedded in a document. Microsoft Office Modern Font Picker offers you the effortless typographical experience you've been waiting for. Call now. Operators are standing by.
And you get a set of Ginsu knives.
Yeah, I will never use this, but it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have been the person who wrote that copy.
No, I'm going to use this, and every time I do, I'm going to be like, this is the most effortless typographical experience that I've been waiting for.
Oh, I can't top that one, so I'm done in this section.
I'm going to save these documents in my golden folders.
That's the only other one that really tops this whole particular one.
It's got to be written by the same person.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Probably is.
Got to be. It's got to be. This is great. I want to know who wrote this. I'm going to ask. I'm going to tweet and ask. As soon as the session is over, I'm going to go tweet and ask and see if we can figure out who is the author.
I want to meet them at Ignite.
This is just.
I want to give them flowers.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it a board intern? Is it a bitter?
It's somebody who got into technology after being in advertising.
Yeah, it's just,
or a literary major, one or the other.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
I was going to be a writer.
How did it get approved? How did it go through the process? And they're like, yes, that is the best roadmap entry.
That is a sign that
Let's stick it out in the roadmap and see if they're awake.
I know, right?
Nobody reads. Nobody reads.
Oh gosh.
I'd like to point out
I'm
that
done
nobody
with anything
reads.
I'd like to mention here. My jaw hurts now.
Oh my God. Oh, all right. So one thing in launched, OneDrive, Office offline edit support for iOS. So if you download an Office file for offline use, you'll be able to open it in WXP or the Office app and edit it well offline, which goes along with Files on Demand refresh for Mac OS. So Microsoft has revamped the OneDrive Sync experience for the Mac OS based on Apple's new file provider platform to improve the Finder experience for OneDrive. And they're also updating the Files on Demand experience to a more native look and feel for the latest versions of Mac OS. So this item is currently available in preview. So just something to be aware of. Do you have anything in launch, Jen?
The bookings, it's got the new notification, so a new pill, an info icon that kind of walk you through when new features are there, and SMS notifications and mobile browser join and stuff like that. So that's interesting. It's kind of what they started doing inside of SharePoint and Word and stuff like that when they had new features, and it really helped people identify new features. So I'm glad they're doing that in bookings as well. So nice. I like that. That's all I have. Is that all you guys have?
Yep.
All righty. It's hard to top the typographical experience of our lives.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. So for the Compliance Center, we'll close out with that one canceled item. It's delayed. And that is the core and advanced e-discovery, the export experience. So they were going to retool the export experience to improve reliability and scalability. They were going to simplify it. So it's not a one-click application, but an automated and do all this stuff with it. They're going to reintroduce it as a similar experience with new options and automated with the graph. They're delaying the item. So my guess is they're going to go do all this other stuff and then maybe relaunch it with an export with all the other information potentially, but it is delayed. So I wouldn't worry too much about anything changing with that. It makes sense to delay a big export tool when you're introducing a whole bunch of new features.
Very
so
true.
that one kind of makes sense. So I wouldn't fret too much there. So that is what is in the canceled section today. So those are all of our updates from this week. So we will be back next week with another round of updates or some entertainment where Tom is reading.
Goes into radio voice.
From the roadmap.
Yes. Yeah.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic. All right, guys. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Bye now.
Everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.